talk in the past in Spanish, we do tend to use mostly the preterite and the imperfect. But if we want to describe and talk about actions that happened even earlier, we interweave the pluperfect or pluscuamperfecto into our dialogue. It is a fairly straightforward verb form to put together, but it can be a bit confusing to use. But the overarching theme here is that the pluperfect in Spanish, much as it does in English, is used to augment the other past tense forms. So, first of all, how do we form the pluperfect or the pluscuamperfecto? For starters, we remember that any time we see the term perfect with respect to verbs, we know that there are always two parts involved, some form of haber and a past participle. In this case, we are talking about the past perfect. This means that the past refers to how we conjugate haber. In this case, we are going to use the imperfect form of haber. The past perfect in English means had done already, as in, I had talked, I had drank, I had left. In Spanish, it means the exact same thing, and we use the imperfect form of haber in combination with the past participle. Now that we know how to form the pluperfect, what exactly does it mean? How do we use it? Well, first, let's look at how verbs can be plotted out on a chart, or better yet, a timeline. The x-axis will be the duration of time, and the y-axis will represent the present tense. Anything to the right of the present tense line is the future. For right now, we're not going to focus on the future today. Instead, our focus is on the past, on the left side of the present tense line. We studied present perfect before. Remember that it still has a connection to the present, but it talks about the very recent past. Something like, he comido hoy. I have eaten today. The preterite and the imperfect are both completely in the past, as we have talked about before. Ayer comí unas manzanas. Estaban muy ricas y dulces. Pluscuamperfecto, or pluperfect, or past perfect, it doesn't matter what you call it, has to do with something that happened even before the preterite and imperfect forms. It is a form we use to set up or describe an action that happened even before another one, and it is all in the past tense. This makes sense because the Spanish name for this verb form, pluscuamperfecto, is a direct translation in Latin of more past than past. Essentially, that is what we use this verb form for, to describe an action that has happened even further in the past than the ones that we use for preterite and imperfect. You never use pluscuamperfecto in Spanish without also using the preterite and imperfect in the story, and it will not be the main focus of the story. It will give minor background details that preterite and imperfect cannot. Let's see the pluscuamperfecto in action, especially in combination with preterite and imperfect. Take a look at this paragraph. Manuel ya había comido un desayuno bien grande antes de irse para su oficina. Cuando llegó, notó que su secretaria ya le había comprado pan dulce y café para su reunión. El problema fue que Manuel ya no tenía hambre. Note how the pluscuamperfecto is working in tandem with the other past tense forms, setting up what happened before the other actions. So let's set up our timeline again and see that the first sentence, the eating of the breakfast happened before leaving for the office. And in the second sentence, we see that the buying of the pan dulce happened before Manuel came into the office. It's because we want to mark certain actions as having happened before others. And this is why we use the pluperfect in both English and in Spanish.